Kubernetes, Rollout, Autocompletion, Patching. Hi guys, I hope you're good since last video. All the nodes of my Kubernetes cluster are upgraded. Now, before going further, let's see in this video how to install plugins, patch existing deployed pods, and also have auto-completion setup, how to roll back to previous versions, and what is good to know, as not everything is going back to previous state. We're going to see that. I could make one video for each, but I will go through each one so that there is a logic flow. I've left a link in the bio for the students who want to learn AI by doing, beginner devs who want to think of a service that they could offer, or business owners who want to use AI for themselves. It is free. There is a guide PDF to download on the video. Link is in the pinned comment or video description. Get it now from our hub checker houses. Also, please like and subscribe. Thank you for your support, and let's get started. Install useful plugin. So we're gonna go through the documentation here. Kubernetes, kubectl plugins. So you install plugins using crew. Here you can see all the commands on the side. So you're going to use here drain. We've seen that before. Here we're going to go kubectl plugins list, and you can see the different commands, the different flags that you can use with that command. Okay, so everything is in the kubernetes.io documentation that I suggest you to use as a help. Just match the right version of your Kubernetes cluster so that you get the right documentation, because very important things can change from one minor version to another. The easiest way to discover and install plugin via Kubernetes is using crew. We're going to use crew. We're on Linux, so we're just going to copy this command here and install it. So this command is going to recognize the architecture. If you are on Arch or ARM, if you're on ARM or AMD, and it's going to be installing crew for us. So the installation has been done. Here there are some outputs telling us how to use it. Also to update the path. So you can export the environment variable into the .bashrc file so that you can always use it. That's what I'm going to do. Just going to copy this command here. We're going to open bashrc file. It's in the root directory here of our home. It's in our home directory, So I just add it at the end. Kubernetes plugins, manager, crew. This is called crew. KREW. And after we're going to source the bashrc, just to have those changes implemented directly so that we don't need to close the terminal. kubectl crew. Let's see. Yes. And here we get the available commands: index, install, uninstall, update, upgrade, and version. we get the version of crew. That's all we have for the moment in the list. We're just gonna install one plugin. After, it's up to you to go and see what plugins are available and to install whatever you need for your work. Here I'm just gonna update it. After I think we can even search, but I already know what I want to install. We're gonna install neat, so kubectl crew install neat. We want some clean outputs, neat outputs, so we're gonna install that, and that's how you use this plugin. Now we have an extra command to kubectl called kubectl neat that we can use. We can explore how to use it. So it's very useful because sometimes when the pods are already deployed, you don't have the YAML file. You want to get the YAML file from it. You don't want to be going through the whole documentation or just manually typing it. So you want to extract the YAML file. This is the command to extract it. You have Nginx deployed. So you just do the O YAML option. It's in the namespace, and you see you get so many extra fields that you don't need. See status conditions. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how you can use this plugin to have a YAML file that is easy to manage with less informations. So you're just going to be piping in the OYAML file, the OYAML command to the kubectl neat command, and that's what we get now. So this is a clean YAML file with the fields that you need. Please like and subscribe during the break. Now patch existing deployments. We got our plugin installed. The cluster state hasn't changed. We have Nginx with 3 replicas deployed. I'm doing all in one video so that we use the same cluster state to see different concepts. So that's what we have seen before. We get the deployment. Let's say I want the deployment in a YAML file. I'm going to pipe the command into a deployment underscore nginx.yaml file. Okay, now we can maybe see what is in that YAML file. So I'm just going to use the NeoVim edit. So now we are inside of it. You see how clean it looks? Looks like just the one that you're going to find in the documentation. Very clean and easy to read YAML file. So we get the 3 replicas, max surge 25%. So this is all the default image Nginx. There could be a version, but here just to use the Nginx. We get the latest one. So the selectors, the matching labels, and so on. So the plugin is nice to use, but now let's do some more deployments. Add more components so that we can see how we can patch those existing pods. So here I'm just going to use, you can see down on the left, the edit command to edit a new file that we're going to call Nginx deployment patching.yaml. So I just used the plugin to show you how the YAML file looks like. But when you want to patch, you just create a YAML file with the changes that you want to implement. If the keys already exist, they will be replaced. if the keys that you're adding to your YAML file doesn't exist, they will be appended to the list. So they will be added to the file. So you can do update by adding something or update by replacing something like that. So here you're gonna go through the tree: spec, template, spec, container, name Nginx, volume, mount. So that's what I'm gonna add actually. That's the volume that I wanna attach to it. We're gonna attach a config map just to tell you what I'm gonna do. And the config map is gonna change the page of Nginx by outputting an HTML sentence, and we're gonna use that to also check how the rolling updates are gonna be made and how we can roll back also in the future. So this is coming next in the video. So here I'm gonna try to make this YAML file without any indentation errors. There might be some. We're gonna come back to it and fix it if there is any. Just gonna get rid of this. So we have the volume mount and the volumes config map. That's how it is organized. So the volume mount name is Nginx HTML conf. That's the name I'm giving to it. The mount path is where the HTML index HTML is located, and the config map is going to be actually representing that file index.html. It is going to be replacing the default one. So the config map name is Nginx HTML conf. And here the name, maybe it's more like that. So the name of the volume is Nginx HTML conf. On the config map name, I'm just going to give it another name. We haven't created it yet, but I'm going to be creating it. Nginx HTML. Okay, we have a volume mount. Give it a name, a path. Okay, I'm just gonna write this file. I'll open a terminal and see if everything is okay. kubectl patch. We want to patch a deployment. The deployment name is Nginx, and the namespace Nginx. The type of patching is merge. We're going to merge what we have written in the file to the existing deployment, and the patch file, the file that we just have created, that I have already forgotten the name. So what is the name again? Let me check in another terminal. Here, Nginx deployment patching.yaml. Let me grab that. Okay, so now we got it. Okay, so it's not pass file, it's a patch file. Here, patch file. Okay, this doesn't look nice. I'm just gonna read what is in. Invalid request, patch invalid value. So after here, it's just gonna provide us a JSON of what we have created, there's a problem with the file. JSON cannot and Marshall array go struct pod template spec view and pod. So just let's check this file. Okay, that's because of this. Because this is a dictionary, it's not a list. So we're gonna edit the file. Edit Nginx deployment. Container, here we get rid of those dashes. So we're gonna move all the indents. So when you use a dash, that's I think that's a list, and when you use nothing, that's a dictionary key value. That's how I see it. So just comment in the comment section if you have more information around that. Here we go. Just put it back like that. Now we know we have two spaces indent here, and here there's two spaces indent also, two. Okay, should be fine. So let's write this file. Let's open the terminal and try to run the command again. So not this. Ctl patch deployment. The name was Nginx. It's in the namespace Nginx. The type is merge, and the patch file is Nginx deployment patching YAML. Okay, there's another problem. Let's get back in. This we can see it. It says spec template spec volume 0 config map. I put a capital letter for the A in map. So only the M in a capital letter. So we're gonna just use nano to go in. Where is it? Also is asking for the image. So I'm just gonna add the image. And now deployment patched. Unknown field. So the map, I need to change it. We got a warning, but I'm gonna change it anyway. That's what I wanted to do initially. Let's change it here, MAP with a lowercase a. Okay, we can repatch it. It's okay, it's gonna work. Now we don't get any warning or errors. So the page is not being updated. Let's give it some time. We're going to check the cluster. Or we might need to run a command. You know the command that we need to run? As it is a deployment, it's of type replica set. Okay. Now we get the deployment, we check. We use the neat plugin again to have a nice output and to see, yes, we have the volume mount. You see, that's what we have added. We have the name of the config map. Okay, config map here. Let's get the config maps. Because maybe we have an error with the config map. Okay, I called it custom page config. So here we said Agentic HTML conf. So that's normal. It's normal to get the page not being updated because it's not matching at all. Okay, so I had a config map that I have already deployed before. I'm just gonna get in and change its name. I can do it like that also and redeploy it. Okay. Or let's just put, I'm just going to put the name back. Instead of redeploying it, let's delete the config map existing. Okay, we'll change the name and we're going to deploy this one. Otherwise, I will have two config maps, the same ones. So I'm just going to delete the other one. I'll deploy the new one. It has the same name as the one that we want to deploy, but here we see if it's going to pick it up. It's not going to pick it up for sure because we have changed the config map. Doesn't mean that the deployment will be able to get it. So we need to restart this deployment. We're going to use the kubectl command. So you see here it says the stateful set deployment and daemon sets, valid resources types to include. Okay, deployments. And I'm going to use this command here to restart the deployment. So when I'm going to restart it, the pods are going to be renewed in a rolling way with a 25% surge. And after it's going to be able to connect to that new config map because it's already set in those deployment configurations. Now the command we have run it, we check the pods and we can see container creating. So you see we have now 4 pods. 25% surge. There will be always one more pod on the top of the others, so there will be more pods. It's going to ask more capacity to the cluster. We just wait a bit. We could have used maybe the watch command to see it going. kubectl get deployments. 1 to update. Still 1 to update and 3 available. Just gonna run the rollout again because it should be pretty quick. Forbidden, okay. So you can comment the video just to say why there is some downtime, because I see forbidden. So I should always see the ancient page of Nginx. I don't know why. There is a bit of downtime. Let's describe it, see what's going on. Okay, successfully mount failed for volume Nginx HTML conf, config map Nginx HTML. So that's why. It's because the config map that we have a link to it. So you don't need to comment now. I know why it's not working. I'm just gonna delete it. So that's how you investigate your errors. You do a describe on the pod, And you see the name here is different. There's no conf at the end. That's the month volume name. And now we're gonna deploy it again. So it's very important. You have here the demonstration to use the right naming. Otherwise it's not gonna work. And now we need to, for sure, rollout restart. Now in a logical way it's gonna work. Okay, now we can see. We can see that it's going a bit quicker. Nice, this is done. This is how it should go. So for sure, before there were an issue, that's why it was blocked with one container creating. While here we've seen the rolling update happen. Here is our page. They're all updated. Amazing. You can see the ID at the end, which has changed. Please like and subscribe during the break. And now let's go set up alias K and the autocomplete for the kubectl comments. So kubectl completion H. I'm just going to check the documentation of it. We get a nice documentation, nice help documentation. And we can, it's like a tutorial, we can just follow that to do the installation. We're gonna adapt it in order to get it running quick. Because I got some issues with the .kubecompletion.bash.inc file that is suggesting to use in bashrc. So I'll end up doing it just putting the command directly into the bashrc. Okay, write bash completion code to a file and source it from bashrc bash profile. And that's why maybe it didn't work, because I'm using bashrc, not bash profile. .home bash profile. Okay, I see. So you will see that in my bashrc there will be traces of it. So now that I'm doing the video, I've seen the error where it's from, but it's okay. You're not gonna see all that. Here you need to install bash completion. Sudo apt install bash-completion. Okay. And after I'm just gonna be adding to the bashrc. So I'm gonna add here a title. Maybe I need to echo first Kubernetes completion and aliases. Let's echo this. Okay. The next command, I'm just gonna add the kubectl completion bash, source it, and after the alias k equal kubectl. That's how you create the alias. Echo complete o default f __ start kubectl k. And after just source the bashrc file to update. But for sure the completion bash inc doesn't work. So I'm just going to delete it. That was the previous installation that I tried. Didn't work because I haven't read properly the tutorial. Now I can get rid of it. And it should be working fine with those 3 lines. Source bashrc, and now we're good. Yes, so when I tap the beginning of the flag, and after I press tabulation, I get it auto-completed, which is good. And the k command runs kubectl command. Just it's the same. That's nice. And you see, I can just keep pressing on tab and it's going to give me all the different options that I have to complete this command, which is nice. kubectl describe, I can describe all those resources. It's pretty helpful. So let's see, I'm going to show you something at the same time. kubectl API resources. Here you get all the resources, but what is interesting is this column, namespaced. So when you want to create those resources, some of those you need a namespace to indicate a namespace. For some other ones, you don't need to. We're going to check all the ones that we need with a true at namespace, and all of the other ones with a false namespace. So you have two different lists of resources, and which one are namespace, which other ones are not. You get the API version, v1, app v1. That's what could be confusing when you're creating your YAML file, but here you will be able to see everything. Hope that you like this tip. Please like and subscribe. And let's create some history to later roll out. So I did some deployments, just doing some small changes to get a history of deployments. I'm going to show you that. Rollout history. No. Nginx. Yes. So it's in the namespace Nginx. So you see it's written none. Change cause. There's nothing written. You don't know what changes I've made. Still red. Always the same. I describe here the config map. Still says red. Here it says blue. So I did some different ones. Now it has turned blue. Okay. So I'm going to use those colors, just changing the color of the config map, doing new deployments. The rollout restart is going to be recording. You see now the number goes to 8. So 7 was the deployment, 8 is the restart deployment. Here I'm going to go in the config map, I'm going to put the color green, so now you're going to see the whole process for once, because I want to show you how to add a description, so that you know what the version you want to return to, if you want to do some rollbacks. So the config map, we have opened it. Now we need to apply that to the cluster. So I have the habit of using kubectl. I don't use K. I'm showing you here in this video, but I always use kubectl. I don't know why I don't use the alias. K patch deployment, Nginx, and the Nginx namespace, type merge, patch, file. I'm trying to use everything that we've seen before, just to show you what it says. Here it says patched, no change. So I can't use the patch command because I haven't changed anything to it. So now I need to go in the patch command. What I can do to pick up this new config map so that I can use the patch command is to change the name of the volume mount. I can do that. Nginx green. But I'm gonna just change the name here. So now that I have made a change, it's going to pick up this new config map, Nginx screen, deployment, patched, rollout. So I had used the edit command. No. Let's wait. Did I forget something? I don't know. Let's see. We go chill and we investigate. We see what human error we made. AI is going to replace us, so I forgot this to apply the config map to the cluster, the new one. So I didn't use the edit command. For sure, it's not going to be changed. We need to wait a bit. So you see I'm running again the rollout history deployment. We're at 9. So do I need to restart the deployment? Rollout restart deployment. Describe is green, so the config map has been applied. Yes, it's green. That's good. So I don't need to restart. Please like and subscribe during the break. So now you've seen those histories. So now let's try to go back to a previous. Let's try to roll back to a previous version. So as I told you, there's no indication of what we've done during that deployment, which kind of change we have operated. Here I put orange, but we need to know, otherwise we won't be able to choose the right one if we have 1,000 of those. I don't know what's the max that the history can hold. So here I'm just going to change the name. What did I do? Okay, so we're just gonna call it Nginx Orange. Orange. Apply the patch with a flag record. Okay, so but here we say flag record has been deprecated. Record will be removed in the future. So this is a way to record the command that we have just used. I mean to record the deployment that you have made. So the command will be saved in the line of the history. Rollout history deployment. I'm using record again, just to have some few lines with this record written. So I need to apply. Just let me do that. Unknown flag record. So you can't do that for the restart or the history. You can do that only for the patch, and you can see here the command in the rollout history deployment. Record equal to true. But here is not very explanatory. We just get the command recorded. That's it. Okay. So it's not going to change orange. Even if I watch. So I'm watching to see if there's any pod changing. Okay, so if you want to see your changes applied first, it's very important to apply the config map, because we have changed the name, but we didn't apply the config map. So you see here it says green, so it's not applied to the cluster. Apply config map. There's a typo. So I'm used to use kubectl. Here I use just k. The alias that you have created has been applied. Let's do a rollout. Restart again. It's going to be quick. It should be orange instantly. Yes, we got pod available. Okay. So now we have built up some history. So let me add here some lines, because we've seen the way of adding a description to the deployment, so that when we want to roll back, we check the rollout history and we get the command. But you can use this annotation, kubernetes.io /change -cause, and you pause here, you put the cause. I prefer this way, because here you're not getting just a command saved, but you're getting a very explanatory message. Shibuya is not accessible today. Violate alert. So when Shibuya is not accessible, we are in a violate alert. So here I'm just going to change the config map to violate. Okay, we have changed the patching to violate already. It's going to be able to pick up on that. This time we don't forget to apply the config map to the cluster. The change have been applied. Now we can patch. Okay, deployments, Nginx. In the Nginx namespace, the type merge, and the patch file. Here I'm just using tab. That's why I write it again, just to check the auto-completion. And after Nginx, I just tap N, and it could pick up. Okay, we restart, rollout restart, and we check the history. Where is the comment? Where are you? You see I didn't use record, but here we can see one for the deployment and one for the restart. And we get that change cause annotation, which is better like that. Okay, so this was just to show you two different ways. Now it's violet, it's good. So two different ways to have the history with a description. So the second way is the best way to use, because the --record is deprecated and will be removed. I'm using the version 1.28. We are at 1.32, so for sure it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, rollout history deployment Nginx. We can write it like that also, with a slash between deployment and Nginx. But here just to check the revisions. How do we do that? So here I just need to find a way to roll back. I'm trying to bring it back to the revision number 9. You see the numbers on the left side? Just to go back to another color of Nginx. And that's what is interesting here, is to see in details what's going to happen and what's going to not happen. So let me just find the right command first. Okay, in the namespace, Nginx. Revision 9. Okay, so here I just get the details of it, but I don't get any confirmation that I'm going back to it. Okay. So we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is only 10 here. Revisions that we can see, because we can't see anymore 1, 2. We can see from 3 to 13. So roll back, undo. I can go to the documentation directly and get the command, but sometimes I like to try to just intuitively, when I forget, try to use those commands. Roll back, undo, to revision. So it's not revision, it's to revision. I'm going to go back to that revision number 9. We want to do a rollback, but rollback command doesn't exist. So we just go rollout, undo. Okay, I have a typo with deployment now. Step by step we're going to fix it. There's something wrong. I can't see where is my cursor when I'm typing. So I'm just okay, I'm here. Deployments / Nginx. Okay. Yes, so that's the right command. So this is how it's gonna stay in my brain. Key rollout undo. And to revision. So now we're back at revision 9. So you see here it's going to be changing, but the color is not changing at all in the screen. The pods are being rotated. In the history, because we went back to the revision 9, it's going to disappear from the list. It's going to be replaced by 14. So by a new revision, because we stop at 13. So we're going to add the 15th one with this one if we succeed to do the restart of it. Okay, we have restarted. No. Didn't change color. Still violet. So this is what you can't do also. Okay, the pods, they're back to their state. But the config map, let's see if the config map has been rolled out, undo. So did we go back to the state of the config map at this revision number 9? I'm going to describe it. It's called Nginx HTML. So it's violet. We still have the same as the latest one that we have released, that you have deployed. Okay, let's check the history. This one, and you see the number 9 has disappeared, has been replaced by the 15th, 14th. So doesn't work with config maps. We have seen that rollback are possible, but just for stuff having replica sets implemented, like in this video deployments, but it works as well with replica sets and stateful sets. We have seen that rollback of config maps doesn't work, so be careful with that. Same for secrets, it doesn't work. I just tell you, even if you haven't seen the secrets in this video, we have created an alias for kubectl commands. We have set up auto-completion for those kubectl commands. We have installed a very useful plugin which helped us to have a nice clean YAML output. There is a lot to see around Kubernetes, but I want you to consider using it locally, as it could be helping you in your local AI app infrastructure. We will see that. We will see what we can do next in this topic. Let's stop here. Hope that you liked this video. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.